Welcome to this channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to handle loneliness as a single person, and I prepared some notes to share with you based on our experience from interacting with many youth and people who are planning to get married. First, I'll be talking about exactly what loneliness is, and then I'll talk to you about some of the causes. What are some of the causes of loneliness? Then I'll talk about the symptoms of loneliness, and then I'll present to you some practical steps you can take to overcome loneliness. So let's start off straight away. What is loneliness? So we're talking about this in context of somebody who is single and is seeking a spouse. Often loneliness in that context means there is this inner feeling that you have that makes you feel you need somebody, usually of the opposite sex, badly, and that you can't do or you can't survive without somebody. So notice that I said it's a feeling, and the fact that it's a feeling means that it's not real, it's not a reality, because feelings are not stable, they go up and down. So that kind of feeling where you think that, oh, I do need somebody badly in my life, otherwise I'm incomplete without somebody, that is what we call loneliness. What are some of the causes of loneliness? We, over the years, have found a number of causes. I'm going to list them for you. And it's very important that if you are going through loneliness, you identify which of these causes might probably be causing it in your life. The first cause of loneliness we found is people coming from a broken home, or a home where dad wasn't present, mom wasn't present, or both were not present, and because of that there was a void created in your life. Now, if you have that kind of upbringing over the years, even when you are an adult, that void still remains until you do something about it. So let me give you an example. For a lady who probably didn't have dad around, there'll be a crave within for the presence of a guy in your life. Even if you know that this guy isn't a good person for me, you will want to hang on because you just need somebody to fill in that void that was created by the absence of your dad. So it's important that you recognize that this can be a problem. The second cause, I think this is the most common, apart from the first one, is hurt from past relationships, and that can create massive loneliness in your life as you move on if you don't deal with it. So you were in a past relationship, and the person left you unannounced, or things didn't work out the way you thought it would work out, and that hurt can create loneliness in your life. The third cause, which is also another common one, is abusive relationship or any abusive experiences you've had. Maybe as a child, somebody sexually abused you, or physically abused you, mentally abused you. That form of abuse, or even in a past relationship, can leave you in a state of loneliness. So the point is not to just mourn over all these things. The point is to identify the cause and then deal with it. So I'm listing these causes so you can deal with them. So number one, I've spoken about coming from a broken home. Number two, I'm spoken about coming from a hurtful past relationship, and I've also spoken about experienced abuse in the past. All these can leave you lonely. Now the fourth is just the lack of presence of people who care really around your life. Let's say, for instance, you've traveled to school in a different country or in a different province or elsewhere, and you don't have people around you, you've lost touch with family and so on, you will begin to feel lonely, and that loneliness can draw you to the point where you want somebody of the opposite gender to satisfy you. Okay, so these are some of the causes. Now, what are the symptoms showing that you are going through loneliness? Now, one of them is hanging on to toxic relationship, even when you are very much aware of it. So you have met this lady and you know that she's the wrong person for you, yet you want to just keep her because you don't want to lose her. That could be a symptom that you are going through the emotion of loneliness. Now, the other thing I wrote in my note is that you could also be feeling that you are not good enough. You have a very low self-esteem, and in your eyes it looks like every other person is okay and you are not. And one thing about loneliness is that you can have many people around your life and still feel lonely. So it's not the absence or presence of people, it's a feeling that needs to be tackled. So the other symptom of loneliness is the feeling that you might, let me refer to my notes. So it's also a feeling that makes you crave for somebody in your life. If you have that crave excessively, then there's a problem. Okay, so let me jump on straight away and talk to you about what to do. And these are very practical things that you can do. Number one, you've got to identify what the cause or what the source is for your loneliness. Do you have a broken relationship from the past? Are you coming from a broken home? Have you ever experienced abuse? Maybe somebody abused you sexually or in any form. You have to be able to pinpoint these things in your life, because that can be the starting point for solving the problem of loneliness. And usually you might need to sit with somebody more experienced to interact with you and ask you a few questions to draw you out, to be able to see that this could be a problem. And if you wanted somebody to talk to, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to have a conversation with you with our email, michaelandmaryagrona@gmail.com. So that's the first thing to do. You have to identify where this loneliness came from. And then you have to talk to somebody. You have to talk to somebody to help you in that regards. Most times you may not be able to deal with it yourself, but if you could, that's still great. You should go ahead and deal with it. Now, my golden solution I'm about to give you is the one I'm about to give you now. I take that as my golden solution. You would notice that anybody who knows their life's vision and are actively fulfilling it are often too busy and too fulfilled to feel lonely. So the remedy here is that you've got to identify your purpose in life and begin to actively work on fulfilling it. That is an automatic cure for loneliness. Now, in another video, I'm going to be talking about exactly what steps to take to identify your life's purpose. If this video has been a blessing to you, please share it with people who might need it. Talk to friends about it. Subscribe to this channel and like this video, so that would help us make more content for you. If you've ever experienced loneliness, I'd like you to comment below and say, oh, I experienced loneliness and this is how I overcame it. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.